called top of the mind. And staying top of mind is the secret to business. Okay, if people don't know you're in business, then you are not in business. And literally, guys, that can happen so quickly because of the world that we live in. The marketing messages have just blown up in every single direction you get marketed to. Radio, television, of course, the internet, billboards, texting, emailing, phone calls. You ever get those robocalls? I hate those robocalls. It happens all the time. And so what you have to be very good at, very smart at, is staying top of the mind. And so I want to share with you a really quick story where I met someone on a plane once, and I was trying to stay in my seat and read and enjoy the flight by myself. And soon there was this bigger than life personality coming down the aisleway on the airplane, and I could hear him. I could see him coming. He was helping people put their luggage up, visiting with people. And if you can believe it, he ended up sitting right next to me. So, of course, we struck up a conversation. I soon learned that he had built a network of billboards across the Midwest, very successful. I asked him, how he did it. He said, Brian, one billboard at a time. And I learned to stay top of mind. And when he said stay top of mind, that just stuck with me. And I asked him, more about what does that mean? He just said, I did things on a regular basis so that when people were thinking about something that I could provide for them, they always thought of me first. I was always doing things to stay top of the mind with my customers and prospects. And I loved it, and I never forgot it. And that's why it went in my book, The 1 Minute Networker. So I want to talk about staying top of mind and how do you do that, and why is that important? It's so important because, like I said earlier, you think you telling someone one time should do it. It doesn't do it. It takes multiple reminders because people forget. They don't ever forget what's going on in their life. They will for sure forget what's going on in your life. They might like you and feel good about you, but they will forget what you do, honestly. So you've got to stay top of the mind with them. And so do the people who are in business. And so what I'm saying is Pixingo is such a fabulous way to do that. But before you even get to Pixingo, I want to talk about something that you've got to become very good at, and that's asking questions. Being a great question asker is the art of networking. Find out what people are going through, what they're dealing with, what's their struggle, what problems you can help them solve, and then they will find you to be fascinating. And when you are fascinating, people will flock to you and they will network you. And your life will get a whole lot easier when it comes to business. Okay, so let's talk about two very golden questions. One is, as you're meeting people and they're sort of telling you a little bit about them, use this question. Could you tell me more about that? And let them go. Let them tell you more about what it was, the vacation or the struggle or what they're working towards or what they're trying to hire or whatever it is. Find out as much as you can. And as they tell you the story of their life or their journey or their struggle, you follow up and you say, so what happened next? What a great second question. What happened next? What that does is it just locks you into the person and lets them know that you are truly listening, because you are. I would never say do any of this by way of manipulation. I'm saying you got to become a great listener and you got to become a great question asker. And then soon, by doing that, as a natural, just because we're humans, you'll be getting your own set of questions. And that's what I want to get to next in this webinar, and that is you need to be prepared with what comes next, because they will be asking you, well, tell me more about what you do. What is it that you do, or what's going on with you, or what's happening in your life, right? And so then you can follow that up with, of course, another question. And you say something like this. When you get a text or an email and you only pay attention to it for a few seconds, and then you're on to the next task. Hold up. Let them think about it. It probably won't take them long, because they're all going to say, yeah, everybody does it. They don't mean to do it, but they do it. And then you follow up with, well, Did you know a greeting card stays in visual sight on average for 17 days? My company, or you say Pixingo, the company I work with, helps people and businesses stay connected and top of mind by sending their personal greeting cards. We address them, and you could say what you want. You don't need to say a whole lot, because what will probably happen soon in their mind, they'll go, wow, that sounds awesome. I need to be doing that. And there you go. I want to just instill in your mind and challenge you to become very good at this part right here. This part. Point out the problem. Text and emails last seconds. A card in the mail, 17 days. There is no comparison. From a marketing standpoint, none. I mean, you talk to people now, you'll find out what their struggles are in marketing. It's difficult and expensive, and they are having a very hard time standing out in the sea of all those marketing messages, whether it's online and Facebook, Instagram, emails, texts, all of them. Very difficult. When you get good at what I just taught you and walked you through, you're going to find out a magical thing will happen. When you're passionate and you're helping people and listening to them. I just had an experience recently where I was able to help someone make a connection. I found out something he was looking for. I made a connection. Turns out those two people ended up doing business. I didn't think anything more of it. However, he put out on Instagram or LinkedIn a message about me. And because he did that, he introduced me to someone who is introducing me to about 5 other people. I didn't even see that coming, but it didn't surprise me. I'll be honest with you about that. It didn't surprise me because of this point right here. When you get someone to toot your horn, it will travel twice as far. How do you do that? How do you get people to toot your horn? Become great at doing this, saying these kinds of things that I was just sharing with you. First of all, step back, become great at asking questions, right? And then be ready with your answers when they ask you. And then this will happen to you. Okay? Does that make sense? All right, really.